Hey guys, what's up? It's Katora here, and today we're going to be talking about Sunday night's episode of The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 6, entitled Bonds. And we're going to be going over Negan and Beta. We're going to be going over a whole bunch of details, especially one major important detail that everybody is overlooking, and we're going to get to that in a moment. Alright, you guys, so Sunday night's episode entitled Bonds was a very intense episode for a lot of reasons, but we're only going to talk about a few of them today. Um, First, we're going to talk about what I did like about the episode. Um, I liked everything. I liked everything about the episode. I liked Eugene's talk with the unknown character that we have that he was speaking to over the radio. Um, for those of you who are fans of the comic book series, um, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be Stephanie, as it was in the comic books. I have not read the comic books, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about the subject, and I think that he's going to be talking to Stephanie, and that's going to be revealed in later episodes. And then let's talk about Beta and Negan. That storyline was really intense. I was almost freaking out when Beta had left Negan, when he stabbed the walker that gave Negan the piece of meat, or the piece of pork. When he stabbed him in the head and left Negan for dead, I was almost freaking out, but I knew that Negan was not going to die. But the fact that he was surrounded by walkers did have me on edge. Let's see, and well, I'll get to. There's a part of the storyline that I did not like with Negan and Beta, but I'll get to that in the part of the video where I talk about the things I did not like. Now, next we're going to talk about Sadiq and his PTSD experiences in the season so far, especially in this episode. What was really interesting to me about Sadiq in this episode was his flashbacks. He's always going back to Enid in his flashbacks for some reason. And a lot of theory that's floating around the internet or that's floating around YouTube is the fact that either he led the people to the Whisperers, or he had a hand in beheading some people from our community, or he is a conspirator along with the Whisperers, but he is having or experiencing some memory loss at the moment. My theory on Sadiq, as far as this episode goes, is he might have Gabriel's comic book death. I think that's coming up very soon, possibly in episode 8 or episode 9, the mid-season premiere in February next year. But I think, let's see, with Sadiq, his PTSD experiences and his blacking out now and appearing or ending up in places he does not remember going to, like how he fell asleep with Coco in his arms and he woke up on the windmill tower. That right there, at first I thought it was a dream. I thought he was dreaming, but then when it cut to the next scene with the walkers, I mean not the walkers, but the Whisperers and Negan and Beta, then I realized, okay, it wasn't a dream. He actually was on the on the windmill tower with Coco, and that, I think that could be leading up to him possibly being the one poisoning the water, maybe. But I think that's all Dante. But we're gonna get to Dante in a second here. Um, Next, we're gonna be talking about Dante. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about Dante now. I think Dante is a whisperer without a doubt. Dante is a bad guy. He's a bad character. Every time I see him on screen, he just gives off these bad vibes, which is a definite kudos to the actor. Bravo on your performance. Excuse me. I've been having some issues with sneezing lately, so I'll be clearing my throat for a few minutes here. But Dante's character just really gives me really bad vibes. I do not like this character at all, especially when he was talking about how he'll check up on Rosita, and I'm like, yeah, no, don't, yeah, that's a line you definitely should not cross, period. But I think it's Dante that's making the community sick, just for the fact that one, he's already untrustworthy. Two, I think he's a whisperer anyway. And three, he just gives off he just gives off really creepy vibes. I don't trust him. I don't trust his character at all, as I've said several times. But yeah, that's what I have to say about Dante. So getting to the storyline that people are talking about, but there's a detail that people are missing when they talk about this storyline. Carol and Daryl. So this is another storyline that I liked, and I really, really, really wish YouTubers who reviewed this episode would have talked about this storyline a little bit more, because if they spun it in a different direction, which I'm going to tell you about here in a minute, they would have seen what I saw, and if they did see it, they should have mentioned it in their videos. But going to the beginning of the episode, well, I just want to say this really quick before I say the next thing I'm going to say. But a lot of people were making comments on how Daryl was speaking in Norman Reedus's voice. That is absolutely not true, because if you look back to seasons 1 and 2 and possibly partly season 3, you'll see that Daryl was actually speaking in Norman's voice the whole time. That was the character's voice, was Norman's real voice. It's just that throughout the seasons and throughout Daryl's experiences, his voice has gotten a little bit more gruffy. But since Daryl is getting a little bit more comfortable, which you could definitely tell in these last few episodes, he's getting more comfortable with Connie, he's getting a little bit more comfortable with the communities. His regular, voice coming out is not as scruffy and gruffy as it normally is or has been in the past few seasons. So I think Daryl is just returning back to his normal voice. That's my opinion on that. Go back and watch the first few episodes of the series, and you'll see. Now, the storyline of Carol and Daryl in this episode, I think Carol is trying to protect Daryl. Carol did not tell Daryl her original plan to kidnap a whisperer and bring them back to the communities, because she wanted to protect them, in my opinion. Carol wanted to protect Daryl in the sense that she doesn't want him to get hurt if she gets caught. That's what it is, in my opinion. She's trying to protect him. Now, let's get to the meat of what I was speaking about earlier. The one thing that people possibly missed, or if they didn't miss it, they failed to mention it in their reviews, is the fact that Carol is bringing a whisperer back to what looks like Alexandria. Lydia lives in Alexandria. Alpha told the whisperers that she killed Lydia. What do you think this whisperer what do you think his reaction would be if he found out that Lydia was still alive? We saw the preview of next week's episode and how the whisperer told Carol and Daryl that Alpha loves them, and he would do no harm to her, and he wouldn't tell them anything because he loves Alpha, and Alpha loves the whisperers. What do you think his reaction, or the weight or the gravity of the situation, or how his mind would flip if he found out that Lydia is still alive? How do you think he would feel about Alpha then? Do you think he would go back and infiltrate the Whisperers and poison the minds of the other Whisperers, letting them know that Lydia is still alive and that Alpha is a liar? Because that's what I think would happen. That's what I definitely think would happen, is if this Whisperer came upon Lydia in the next episode, or episode 8, the mid-season finale. I really do think that he would do a lot of harm to Alpha, and perhaps that could, not likely, but it could possibly start the Whisperer War, I guess. But we will see. We will find out. And I'm really shocked that people missed that big detail in Sunday night's episode. It should not have been missed. I mean, when you saw the brick wall or the concrete wall behind that Whisperer, it should have been put. It should have put two and two together. But it was a really intense episode. There's a lot going on, so I get it. But so let's go to what I did not like. So, what I did not like in Sunday night's episode, there was only one thing I did not like. And it bugged me because um, it wasn't the direction, it wasn't the montage between Beta and Negan. It was the silly music. I am a huge fan of Bear McCready. Um, I have been since 2000 and what 10 or 2011 when I started watching Battlestar Galactica 2004. He was the music producer on that show. In case anybody doesn't know, but yeah, Bear McCready. That was. I really think that was a wrong song of choice for that montage. It could have been anything but that song. It was, in my opinion, it was too goofy for the seriousness of the episode, in my opinion. But that's the only thing I didn't like about the episode. Otherwise, the music was great, the direction was great, the acting was great, and the pace. Pace is everything in these shows. The pace was amazing. But that's what I think about Sunday night's episode, season 10, episode 6, entitled "Bonds of the Walking Dead." So this is Katura. That is my opinion. Have a conversation in the comments, but always remember to be respectful. I love you guys. Peace out. Namaste, and go do some good things. All right. Love you guys. Bye.